President Trump's massive demolition of the East Wing is now complete. Satellite pictures show what the White House complex looked like just a month ago. And here's the scope of the destruction on Thursday, with the East Wing of the building entirely gone. It'll be replaced with part of President Trump's 90,000-square-foot ballroom, the cost of which has now ballooned to $350 million. The money's expected to come from private donors, including Comcast, the current parent company of MSNBC. As the demolition of the East Wing got underway this week, President Trump reversed course on what he said earlier this summer about the project.
It won't interfere with the current building. It'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it. We determined that after really a tremendous amount of study with some of the best architects in the world, we determined that really knocking it down, trying to use a little section. You know, the East Wing was not much. In order to do it properly, we had to take down the existing structure.
Well,
come on. This is the people's house. There are rules, there are procedures. And once again, everyone's been talking about how the destruction of the East Wing is a perfect metaphor for this administration, and it absolutely is. He could not care less about what the East Wing means to the American people. He couldn't care less about the role of Congress. He couldn't care less about the role of accountability. He is running roughshod over the country, and that right there, what we're watching right there, is just the perfect metaphor. I can't tell you how upset this makes me.
There's a couple of things for me. Is one, the reason that when people go to the White House, they go, wait, it's so much smaller than I expected. That was the point, because our founders, as nightmarish as they were on some policies, like slavery, they knew that the kind of place that they wanted the head of state to live in wanted to be more. They wanted it to be more humble. They didn't want it to be huge. They didn't want it to look like a palace. That's why it's not gold encrusted until recently,
kings.
right? That was very important to them. Two, he lied about not destroying it. A couple months ago, when this first came out, they said they weren't going to touch the East Wing.
I just heard him say it,
and then they completely destroyed it without telling anybody. Well, the reporters just saw it happening. Also, they added how much money it was going to be, another 50% of how much it's going to be, and that money is being raised by all of these billionaires and corporations privately. Right. And apparently the president, he said he's going to throw some money in. But the problem with that, and Kimberly Atkins-Storr said it better than I can, but when that is happening and it's not tax dollars, there's no accountability.
Right.
And those folks are going to want something for giving money to that house.
And that, in the course of my reporting calls yesterday, I wanted to get a sort of the preservationist archival perspective on this. And I talked with Colleen Shogan, who was the former head of the National Archives, who was fired by Trump earlier this year and has dedicated her life to archiving historical documents. And she said, you know, most reasonable people might agree, okay, maybe the construction of a ballroom isn't the craziest idea. When people go to the state dinner, they have to go to the bathroom in porta potties. Maybe they want something nicer.
Not the gowns and the porta potties.
But her issue is the way it has been done. Yeah. That it could have been done in a way that it would preserved the East Wing. You could have attached it in some way, had it adjacent to another structure, and that it is representative of, getting back to what Jonathan led with, of the way that we are supposed to do things in a democracy to come to a better outcome. The reason why democracy operates in a consensus-driven way, and that we go through a process, the way legislation, regulations, policy programs, and institutions are made, is to get to a better outcome.
Yeah.
As someone who has been to 3 state dinners, let me just tell you that it's not you know, the porta potty that you see at the construction site. These are decked out, tricked out.
Jonathan is pro porta potty.
Bathrooms.
And even if they weren't, your little gown will be fine.
Your gown will be
okay.
We got to go.